Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 100.
100.
For January 3rd, 2009. I am James, and with me in person is John.
Hello.
John, you don't need the headset. You don't need the headset.
Force I have it.
All right. Okay, we got that out of the way. All right, we are video taping. Well, we say, what do you say? Video recording. I don't say taping anymore. Actually, there is a tape in my camcorder. It's still digital, but there is a tape in there, and this will come out as an audio and as a video, so you can watch it any way you want.
That's right, or listen to it.
We are in the MacCave. And later on in the show, you're gonna get a tour. We're gonna walk around, and John's gonna show us all the interesting things that are in this room. Okay, but first, let's see. Well, actually, you know what? We ought to say a word about the holidays.
Yes.
You have a good time?
Yeah.
You get anything under the tree? Nothing? Mac-wise?
Actually, nothing Mac-wise, because I'm waiting now till Macworld
Oh, yes, because there's the second Christmas that
That's
Mac
right.
fans, well, at least
for one more year.
for one more year.
Yeah.
And then maybe after that, then Apple will get in line with the gift-giving season and give us events at the appropriate time.
Before Christmas, yeah.
So that is the upside.
Yes.
The upside of no more Apple at Macworld next year. I got a couple of things, not from Apple, but I got a couple of interesting books from my sister and my sister's mother-in-law. Interesting enough, they got a hold of my Amazon wish list.
Ah, yes.
Unfortunately, I had updated it recently. Normally, I keep like tons of stuff in there. Most of the stuff I already own, but I had updated it. So these are a couple books that I have been eyeing but had not yet purchased. This one is Stan. I don't know if that's Veit or Veit. I don't know, but it's the history of the personal computer from Altair to IBM: A History of the PC Revolution.
And what's one they put on the cover, though?
Looks like a straight Apple II.
Yeah, I just love the fact that they're using that kind of as the iconic figure for...
Right. Yeah, and it's I just got started in it, but it's of course got a very big section on Apple. There's a chapter 5 is the early days of Apple computer, and there was some stuff in here that I did not yet know, so that's very nice. But very good if you want to get the context. I mean, we talk about Apple and the Mac here, but there were a lot of other computers going on in those days. And then the other one I got here is by Roy Allen. This is a history of the personal computer, the people, and the technology. And on the cover here we've got an Apple II. Actually, it looks like the same picture. There's an Apple II, there's an Altair, there's an IBM PC, there's a Mac, Compaq, and some kind of
beige PC,
like
boxy.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, I'm looking forward to reading these. Speaking of other computers, we did get mention on Earl's Retro Bits this last episode, which was very nice. We might have picked up some more listeners who are listening to Retro Bits. So if you are interested in computers, the history of computers other than Apple, then you might want to tune into Retro Bits. Okay, let's see. We've got what do we have? We have a bunch of new members on the website. We're up to 385 members, and so we want to welcome Axel. Axel is from Australia and got his first Mac in the mid-90s, an LC2, is now up to 5. We have, I'm going to say Ameri, forgive me on the pronunciation, from North Carolina, and now has 4 Macs and found us through the iTunes store. Hamilton is from Miami, Florida, and got his first Mac in 1993. And then there's Kathy Laird, and Kathy is from Cotati, California, has 7 Macs in a family of 4. And I guess her husband told her about the RetroMacCast, so her husband must be on the website as well. And then there's Hoba from Gießen, Germany, with 3 Macs, starting off in 1994. Mario is from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and well, he found out about us because he's a collaborator to a local Mac magazine.
Oh, really?
And he's got about 40 Macs in his private collection, so quite a big collector. And then there's Con from Canberra, Australia. Heard about us through the Mac Break Weekly, which I didn't know that we got mentioned on Mac Break Weekly. I listened to that podcast, so you have to let us know when they mentioned us.
Yeah, what episode?
And then there's Paul Sloan from Derby Line, Vermont, with 35-ish Macs, which means, kind of like us. They're getting so many that you kind of lose track. All right, who do you have?
We have Pradeep, who has a very nice picture of what looks like a nice, perhaps family picture, and that's all we know about him. Same thing goes for Pedro. Pedro is from Spain.
At least Pradeep had a picture.
Yes.
Pedro doesn't even give us that, so
Pedro's told us he's from Spain.
Yeah.
Which is more than Pradeep did. So, here we are. Van Baker. Van Baker got his first Mac in 1987, currently owns 9, has a website, www.design-first.com, and lives in Duluth, Georgia. We have Rob, who has, got his first Mac a year ago, already has 5 Macs. Very nice.
Where's Rob
He
from?
lives in Central Texas. And then we have Nancy, who got her first Mac in 1988, currently owns 4 Macs, and she lives in Maryland. She heard about us on Webland. Are you familiar with Webland?
No, I'm not. Webland. Okay.
We have Mark. Mark got his first Mac in 1994, has 2, lives in Lexington, Kentucky, and heard about us on Mac Folklore Radio Podcast. We have Mark Owen. Got his first Mac in 1992, currently has 7 Macs, and lives in Girard, Pennsylvania, and heard about us poking around on iTunes while looking for podcasts. Then there's El Baroni, got his first Mac in 1985, a Macintosh 512KE, very nice,
Going way back.
and has over 30 Macs, and from Canberra, Australia. And our last new member is Phil Kaplan, who heard about us on the web.
The web. The web, yes.
And he's from Soquel, California.
Welcome. All right. Fantastic.
Welcome, everyone.
A couple of those folks still need to add pictures. Like Phil, for example, needs to give us a picture of some sort, so we have something other than a sad Mac to look at. We did get a few more donations in the last few weeks, so thanks to Ray from Baldwin, New York. Now, Ray is remember the gentleman that is doing the Lisa emulator.
Oh, yeah.
And so thank you, Ray. You can find
Thank you for the Lisa emulator, because otherwise I would have never gotten to play with one.
You can find the Lisa emulator at lisa.sunder.net. We also got a donation from Hamilton from Miami, Florida, one of our new members this week. And Lloyd from Brisbane, Australia. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Last
Thank
podcast.
you for supporting our sick, twisted habits.
Last podcast, on our 99th, we announced the contest. And the contest was to guess who was going to be our special guest for episode 100. So we have him here today. Come on in, sir. No, wouldn't that be something?
You flew him in.
And we had 3 clues, and unfortunately, I botched the whole thing up because the clues were not descriptive enough. There were too many people that fit those 3 clues. The 3 clues, if you remember, were, depending on your count, he's number 1. This artist signed his work. And the last clue, a member of the original Apple Garage Band. Okay. Well, it turns out that there's at least 3, maybe even, no, I want to say 3 that can lay claim to those 3. Okay. And then the number 1 guess, the people were guessing, was Steve Wozniak.
Oh,
and
we wish. I mean, someday maybe.
We're a small town operation. Now, I did actually request to get Steve Wozniak, and he's a busy guy. So I got a polite decline from his people.
But the person we did get, it was nice because he's not somebody you get to hear from as often. You
That's
don't
true.
know his story.
That's true. We get where's the book there?
Which book?
That audio book right there.
Oh.
See,
This
more
this
can we
one
find out
that
from Woz?
James
Yeah,
loaned
you
me
can listen to Woz.
about a year ago.
I loaned this to John about a year ago,
Mhm.
and we were going to do an episode where we review this thing, and he is still yet to listen to it. So,
I started today. I swear.
but anyway, no. So it's not Steve Wozniak. The other guess. Who's the other guess? Oh, Bill Fernandez was another guess, which is another good guess, and he actually fits those three because he was one of the first people they hired. Actually, he was the first full-time employee that they hired. But it's not Bill. So the number one, when we're talking about depending on how you count, he's number one, was actually the first part-time employee. Okay, this artist signed his work, so like Bill Fernandez and Wozniak, you can find his signature in the classic Mac cases. And a member of the original garage, or the Apple garage Mac, of course I'm referring to the Jobs family garage.
Yes. Which we found out actually started in the living room and then moved into the garage.
Moved into the garage. And so the third person that all those answers, all those clues apply to is Daniel Kottke. And so we have Daniel Kottke coming up on an interview. Won't be part of this video one if you're watching us on the video. It's going to be appended somewhere in the middle, someplace in the audio version. And of course, since these are enhanced podcasts, if you watch the video, go back to the audio, you can just kind of fast forward to that segment of the audio podcast. So we thank Daniel Kottke for joining us.
Thank you. That was we could have talked to him for hours. I mean,
sure.
It was well. You'll find out.
You'll find out. Okay, good. Okay, let's see. Coming up on the show, we're going to do eBay finds as always. We're going to cover some news, and we're going to show the tour of the MacCave, and then we're going to wind up with some, we'll reflect on the past year and 100 episodes.
This is Derek from Mac Folklore Radio. You're listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John.
All right, let's look at our eBay finds of the week. On episode 99, we had 3 eBay finds. There was the Mac OS 8.5 t-shirt. How to buy it now? $6.88. Very reasonable for a t-shirt, and somebody did buy it now at $6.88. So very good. There was a new, never used, in the box, Ultramint Apple IIc starting bid of $1,499, and no one bid. And I'm looking here, it doesn't look like it got relisted. So maybe we'll see a future relisting of this. And then lastly, this was kind of surprising. Actually, no, it isn't surprising. There was the quilt. There was a quilt we did a few weeks back, I think on 98, that went for $200 or $300, whatever. This was another quilt in that same vein. A fewer t-shirts in the quilt and some newer ones. That one went after 10 bids for $78.50.
Oh.
Okay, 3 more auctions this week. We've talked about, I think it was a Mac of the week. It's not a Mac, but I think we covered it on an episode. And this was the Bell Howell Apple II.
That's the one, the black case.
Yeah, Darth Vader, they kind of call
Darth
it.
Vader, yeah.
And it was made, it was a special model that they put in some kind of AV interface stuff on it, and they were able to package it in a way and sell it through school channels, and it kind of gave them another avenue to sell computers to schools through Bell Howell. Well, this one is a very nice one.
Very, yes.
And it comes in the original box, pristine condition. It says it has a low serial number. Who knows how many they made, but it just looks great all the way around. It does power up, and it is currently at $280 after 14 bids, so we're getting a lot of activity on this. It still has a little over a day to go. This will end on January 4th. What else can we say about it? I don't know. There's some great pictures there.
Sweet, yeah.
Yeah. Now I have one of these, but mine is a little abused. It's not very as nice as this.
Well, as you were saying, a lot of these were in schools, so
yeah,
you can imagine a lot of them probably
right.
took some abuse.
They probably fell off an AV cart or two. being raced down the hallways. But there you go. So, what else we got?
All right, our next item is something we certainly have talked about before, possibly even had auctions before. It's the Apple Computer logo belt buckle. This is a nice round, kind of coppery, brass-ish.
It's brass.
Sort of brass.
It's
Okay, brass belt buckle.
I'm wearing mine. I'd show it to you,
but
that might get embarrassing.
That's right. It currently has a bid of $91. It's had 7 bids so far. This ends in 4 days, 15 hours, ending January 7th. And they're pretty cool. I mean, nothing like showing off your Apple-ness via a snazzy belt buckle.
Now, from the picture of this, it looks like it could use a little
Brasso, perhaps.
TLC. Yeah, I think that would clean it up.
Tarnish.
But these are pretty rare.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was snapping these up on eBay whenever I saw one, but they've reached such a price now where you can no longer collect them by the dozen. I mean, it's already $91.
$91 still has 4 days left. So
yeah, right. After how many bids?
Gonna go for
7 bids. So,
but
this one might go
circa 1978. Yeah.
Right. Okay, and the last item. This was a curious one. Somebody over in Thailand is making these little bags. Would you call it a purse? It's a smaller than that, but it's a bag in which they've screened on an old photo of Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak working on what is probably the Apple I. Yeah, it looks like that's the Apple I there, and kind of a makeshift case there.
It looks like a MacBook might fit in this.
You think so? What are the dimensions?
12. Oh, that's centimeters.
Centimeters.
Never mind.
We don't know what centimeters are. So yeah, I think it's a little handbag. So on one side it has the picture, which is a wonderful picture dated April 1st, 1976, and on the other side it has the caption, which reads Steve Jobs with Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak on the day that they something the company, I can't read it, something. Anyway, it's hard because the picture is small, but it's got a little description there of the photo. What's that third picture? Just the inside. Oh, I guess it would hold a mouse and a power adapter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it gives you about this general size.
Yeah.
Very interesting and very unique.
Very cool picture.
You can have one to buy it now of $20. In fact, I should probably buy one of these. I think my wife would want one of these. There are still 3 available, and this will expire on January 8th.
Hi, this is Earl from the RetroBits podcast. Congratulations to James and John on 100 episodes of the RetroMacCast. Way to go, guys. Thanks for the awesome podcast, and chat with you soon. Now we've got a rare treat. We're going to get to see the MacCave.
The MacCave.
Yeah, so John, why don't you show us around?
Sure. As you can see, it's Christmas in the MacCave.
It's still Christmas. Hey, it's January already.
Obviously, this isn't nearly as impressive as...
Oh, come on.
Set up, but
it's very impressive. This is a tiny little room.
Yes.
What's the dimensions of this room?
I've not measured. I'm guessing 20 by 12-ish.
Right, and you've got quite a few computers in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here we see, this is my shell that I have, so you can see all the signatures in the back, including...
we're going to get a close shot of that.
Including theirs. Where is he? That guy right there.
Who's that guy? I can't see it from here.
Daniel Kottke.
Oh, yes. Right, hopefully this comes after we announce the... Okay. All right, there...
Oh, yeah, here's my story. Here's my Mac Portable, semi-working. I've gotten it to boot a couple of times, but it's using a power supply, not the battery, so a little leery of that. A couple of classics, SC30, SE. We've got the 7100. Here's a nice LC 520. Down here is my poor neglected Banana Junior.
Is that one of your New Year's resolutions, to get that fired up?
I think, wasn't it last year?
Oh, no! Okay.
Here's my nice little Apple II shrine.
Sweet. Now, is that your original 2GS?
This is my original 2GS. This is not my original 2E. My original 2E went to my friend Jim in Wisconsin when I moved up to the GS.
Okay.
And the 2C was donated by my friend Mike. It came with, you can barely see it, but it actually has a cloth case back here for the 2C,
Wow.
which is kind of cool. So over here is my Jimmy Doohan signed Mac Plus.
Nice.
Has its own little ring. Here's my...
And there's Opus there. Opus would look good next to the Banana Junior.
Yes, it would. Yes, but yeah, obviously a very iconic 80s figure next to a very iconic 80s figure. So
Right.
over here is my eMate that I use as a desk clock. Here's an assortment of an LC 6100 and a Macintosh 2. Most of these, almost everything in here that's beige and of the Mac persuasion came from school sales. So some of these computers only cost me $5 to $10.
Well, you've got your G3 poster and your Yum poster. What's the circuit board over there on the wall?
That is an Apple IIe circuit board.
Okay. Cool.
Now here's for some really retro computing. This is some core memory.
Oh.
This is little tiny magnetic washers. This was before RAM chips.
Now, do you know what computer that came from?
I have no idea.
Very good. Okay, so do we want to fire everything up? You have some of the computers. Have you ever fired everything up at the same time?
You know, I've never tried. I hooked everything together so we could do that for this. So this is our first time trying. Let's give it a go.
All right.
Are you still recording?
All right, let's talk about the news. The big news is, well, the big news is yet to come. The big news will be next week.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of rumors.
Of course, the build-up.
The build-up now, we already know that Steve Jobs won't be delivering his annual Steve note.
Be the Phil note instead.
Leaving to Phil. Now let's see, there are a lot of rumors, of course, about why he's not. You know, is he trying to step away from Apple? Is there nothing to announce and so it's not worth his time? Is he sick? There have been lots of reports running around about his health. And there was one that went up, I think it was Gizmodo that announced it, and then all of a sudden, of course, the stock took a dive. And then there was reports that from apparently his yogurt seller saying, oh, we saw him recently and he looks just fine.
The yogurt, you make it sound like, yeah, so some guy in the corner is like, psst, dude, I need my fruit on the bottom, man.
I don't know, but who knows? All I can say, personal experience. Since I was in Cupertino at the mothership last month, it was about mid-December, he was at work.
Ah.
His car was in the parking lot. So
in the handicap spot, right?
yes, it was. And it's not because he's necessarily sick. It's because he normally parks
Because
there.
he normally parks there.
Yeah, which is a weird thing. Because he was parked there when we visited, right?
What I don't understand is he's the CEO of the company. Why doesn't he just, CEO of the company?
It's really bizarre. But anyway, it seemed like he was well enough to go to work as fewer than a few weeks ago. So who knows? But on the other rumor front, new products, we've got possibility of a new Mini, which is long overdue. What do they say? The Mini
iPhone.
The Mac Mini.
Oh
The
yes,
Mac
the
Mini,
Mac Mini. I've heard aluminum enclosure. You've heard possibly
Black.
a black enclosure. Well, I guess that would go with more with the stereo equipment.
Yeah, I guess it would look more
Kind of, right.
Although that's the Apple TV, but whatever.
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
and then we've got possibly new iMacs, which we're getting a little long in the tooth. There have been some wild speculation about a larger screen iPod Touch of some sort. Who knows? The most interesting of the rumors is the emergence, of course, of cases for a iPhone Nano.
Ah, yeah, that's
And I think there was something. There was a case leak before that preceded, I believe, the iPhone announcement.
Well, wasn't there even one for
the Nano?
For the new MacBooks too, wasn't there a
well, that was
leaked pictures of the
well, that was the case. I'm talking about for the iPhone Nano. It's
You're
latex,
talking about the
sleeves or
right,
whatever.
a third party Okay.
So those were leaked. So, gosh, I don't know if we need an iPhone Nano, but the evidence is looking good that there might be one. So we'll have to see what that looks like. I guess that's it for the rumors. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we might see, you know, new iLife, new iWork. Oh, there was also something about possibly taking iWork and parts of iLife and putting it more online. Have web-based applications.
It's sort of like
iWork.
Google has done with...
Right, you know, in the cloud computing. So we might see some of that. So we'll find out next week when Phil delivers the keynote. Of course, I will attempt to be there. I have to convince my sister that we need to get there at a suitable hour. Such that we
suitable
can,
3 in the morning, or...
That's what I was thinking when Steve was giving the keynote. Now,
maybe
8.
Maybe
Oh, I don't know. But, so, yeah, we're going to try to get there. So maybe we'll see some folks in line. You can follow me. I'll be Twittering on the RetroMacCast account, so you can follow my movements that way. Let's see, what else is going on during the week? It's going to be a busy week because I get into town on Sunday. On Monday night, there is a press screening for Welcome to Macintosh. Rob and Josh.
Or just Rosh.
Or just Rosh. And they
it's
invited
like
me.
Bennifer, but different.
They invited me to the premiere, or the press screening of that film. So that'll be exciting. And then Tuesday is the Mac Blast. Okay. Which we went to last year, and we got to see Devo. Of course, it's always a mystery who's going to be there.
Loud but fun.
These being tough economic times, as they say, you know, I don't know. Where do you go from Devo? You know? Trying to think. Maybe Dexy's Midnight Runner or something like that.
Just the one song over and over.
And then, let's see, that's Tuesday night. Oh, and Tuesday, I should also point out that I'm going to be a guest on the Macworld podcast.
Hey.
Hosted by Rob Griffiths. He's kindly invited me to be on that, so we're recording. I don't know when that's going to be released, but we're going to be recording around midday on Tuesday. And then, let's see, Wednesday evening is the premiere of MacCave the movie, which I also got an invite to. And that's one, and you know, we got an invite because my wife is going to be in the film.
In the credits, right?
In the credits, right, because of the I Love My Mac video that she and I made some time ago.
I showed that to a friend of mine just last weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, they didn't have anything nice to say.
No. You may have met him, my friend Wright.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw him the other day. He was in the office when we were.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, who else? Okay, so that's Wednesday night. Thursday night is the public screening of Welcome to Macintosh, which promised to attend our Guy Kawasaki, Andy Hertzfeld, and Ron Wayne, one of the original co-founders of Apple Computer. So that ought to be really cool. Now I'm trying to set up for Wednesday afternoon to get together with some of the listeners that are going to be in attendance. So Wednesday afternoon, I haven't set a time yet, but we'll work on that. Probably at Chevy's, which is right adjacent to Moscone Center. So we'll get together for lunch there. So that'd be Wednesday afternoon. I think that's it. So it's busy.
Yeah, you're going to have a solidly packed Macworld Expo.
Right.
Help support the RetroMacCast. If you'd like to donate, just click on the PayPal donate button on our homepage at RetroMacCast.com.
It's appropriate that we look back. Also, the end of the year, we look back at the past year and remember all the wonderful and great things that have happened in the past year. We started off this past year with a bang because we both at Macworld Expo. What were your favorite moments from that whole trip?
The museum, the Digibarn.
The Digibarn.
Certainly, the smile I could not wipe off my face as we sat in the auditorium waiting for Steve.
Right.
Just big stupid grin. It just wouldn't go away.
Which turns out was perfect for you.
Yes.
Your first Macworld will also be his last.
I don't know what I did to. Sorry, guys.
Oh well. And then, of course, we got over to the Computer History Museum.
Yes, yes.
Which is very, very good.
And we got to see the kind of behind-the-scenes tour.
We stopped over to the mothership.
Mm-hmm.
Got some goodies there. And we have, of course, that wound us giving us material for lots and lots of episodes.
Oh, yes.
And then it didn't slow down. We had all these other interviews. Remember, we had Daphne Kaufman, who did the I Love My Mac song. We just had tons of interviews. There were a lot of things that kind of fell out of the podcast that were kind of fun because, for example, I got to speak at the T-Mobile conference.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I did that, and then I got to go out and attend a screening of Welcome to Macintosh out on the Paramount lot in Los Angeles. So that was very fun. And I got to see Jeremy Murley's collection in St. Louis.
That was, yeah, you happened to be up there for something else, and you happened to be close by.
Right. So that all worked out wonderfully. And, so the big thing I think that we did this year was introduce our new website.
Yes,
which of course
yes.
hosted at Ning.
RetroMacCast. It used to be on Libsyn, and then we started.
Well, it still is.
Well,
it's
yeah,
still, there's remnants of it there,
but
and people still leave comments on it, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to retromaccast.libsyn.com, you'll see that it's kind of sparsely populated. Get your account on Ning, the Ning site, which is at our main domain.
Where the things are really happening.
Yeah, and so that's been wonderful because it's allowed all this interaction among the users.
Yeah.
People,
The feedback for us, just getting to kind of see other people out there who have collections like we do and just really enjoy messing around with old hardware.
Lots of videos, lots of photos, people posting how-tos, people giving advice. So that's been a tremendous asset as a supplement for the podcast. Let's look at the numbers. I was looking at the stats earlier today, and we started off the year getting about 7,000 downloads per month. Now at the end of 2008, that's around 10,000. So we're seeing this gradual upslope. That translates to roughly, we're getting roughly 1,000 at the beginning per episode, 1,000 downloads, and then that grows slowly over time. One of the episodes, episode 2, which was Tam I Am, just went over 2,000 downloads.
Well, yeah, that got a big push originally because it got mentioned on another.
It was actually it was a little bit later. I think it was the Bondi Blue. It was around that time that we got the unofficial Apple weblog mention. But yes, those from then, that's when numbers really start taking off. But it's good to see that we're getting a lot of downloads of the older episodes. And we're getting feedback all the time.
Have you listened to any of the older episodes?
No.
Sometimes it's pretty cringeworthy. Obviously, I know I've gotten a lot better at this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we both have.
Yeah.
And so it is tough to listen to those old ones. But people are going back and listening to them. I think I got another email from somebody that was making their way through the episodes. So, gosh, good luck.
Well, thank you for listening.
Let's see. Just a word on the donations. They've been coming in. We got a bunch of donations in the holiday season after my subtle plea. So thanks to everybody. We're sitting pretty. We've got our expenses paid for. We should have enough money to buy some more things to give away, which would be nice. Maybe buy some better equipment. Throw a fresh coat of paint on this place. It looks fine. Who knows? But thanks everybody for the donations. Of course, we just do this for fun, and so it really helps when people take the time to throw us a few dollars and help us pay for our expenses. The future of RetroMacCast, well, I've been so busy now, I haven't really thought about it much. But I look back at what we wanted to do a year ago.
Yeah.
I look at that list, and I'll say the same things. More projects. We're gonna continue to hound John to finish his Banana Junior.
Which is sitting over there staring at me.
Yeah, he's got a sign here. I'm gonna step off camera here to grab the sign here. Put this in the video because this is gonna be really awesome. when he gets to Banana Junior, he's got this sign.
Yeah, this is from Bloom County.
Right. I put that in the picture there. And that's Gene Simmons, I
Gene
guess?
Simmons, yes.
Yes.
And it's lampooning kind of the
Right, it's an advertisement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gene Simmons never had a personal computer when he was a kid. And I guess now he can have the Banana Junior 6000. Buy one before it's too late. Gene's mother wishes she had. So there you go. So that's going to sit proudly one day above the Banana Junior. More projects, more interviews. Of course, we're going to continue to seek out interesting people in the Macintosh community. Hopefully, I'll get some good opportunities to get some impromptu interviews next week. We'll see
or contact information for hopefully maybe some more in-depth ones.
There you go. Of course, we're going to continue to encourage listener participation.
Yes, we love listener participation. The comments, suggestions, you know, it all helps.
Of course, when we come back to you next week, it'll be after Macworld. So we'll do a Macworld kind of recap, and then we got to conclude our series on the Macintosh OS. We're going to do System 9, and then probably talk about the beta of OS 10. We'll see. And then there's been a lot of suggestions to cover the Apple II operating system.
Yes.
So we might do that. So I think John's going to take his memory is probably stronger on that than mine. I remember DOS 3.3. I remember ProDOS. But, that's all I remember.
All right there.
And what else? Oh, that's enough. I think that'll keep us going for a while.
We'll hopefully get back, after the operating systems, maybe do some more Retro Mac of the Week.
Yes. Now there was one that we haven't done yet. That wasn't the SE. Somebody had pointed out that we had not done the Macintosh SE.
Missed that one.
So the SE, probably the Mac that I spent more time than any other Mac I've ever owned. We have not done that yet. So that will be the first one we do, the Macintosh SE. And I guess, if you've got any suggestions, please join us on the website and write to us. Okay, we saved till the end of the episode the announcement of the contest winner. As I said earlier, there were a multiple of correct entries. So if you guessed any of those, you are in the drawing. And you are in the drawing to receive, there are two prizes, so we're going to draw two names. So we've drawn the two names. And the first person is going to win this copy of, so far, the first 10 years of a Vision, a wonderful coffee table book chronicling the first 10 years of Apple Computer. Very rare, very nice. And the other winner will get a DVD copy of Welcome to Macintosh.
Ooh.
All right, and so the winner of, so far, the first 10 years of a Vision is Dave from Rockville, Maryland. And the winner of the Welcome to Macintosh DVD is...
The winner of that is...
James Wages from Japan. Okay.
All right.
Why did we do that? Why did we do that?
Because we're actually recording this before the deadline for the contest.
Yeah, this is actually, we're actually recording this right now. This is January 2nd. But the deadline is tonight at midnight. So,
right. Because normally we would have recorded this on Saturday, but we decided we're going to record this Friday night.
Right. So anyway, so that's why that was a little odd. But we'll fix that all in the editing. Don't worry about it. And other than that, I hope to see some listeners out at Macworld Expo next week. Hopefully this won't be the end of an era. Hopefully it's just the beginning of a new, a new Apple-less Macworld Expo. Of course, Apple will be there for the last time.
Yeah, it's going to be just the that anticipation build, of what they're going to, the rampant speculation, the rumors.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going to do to all that, because you did have a fixed, okay, we know Apple usually does something now. Well, now it's going to be more like any other company where they just release things on their own schedule. So there's no
big build up to it. No, there isn't. But there's still going to be that tremendous community that's going to get together. I'll get to see lots of folks that I only
get to see when
email or whatever. So it's going to be wonderful. I can't wait. So yeah, I mean, we're all bummed that Steve's not going to do the keynote, but in the big picture, that's a small part.
Exactly, yeah. It is the community that is going to keep Macworld going, and I do believe
hopefully
Macworld will. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's hope so. All right, well, until next time, episode 101, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Thanks for listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.
This is a Tardis.
This is a Tardis.
This is it. Well, you've heard it mentioned many times on the podcast. This is actually it. So you can imagine I'm about 6'3". You know, this is
that's a big thing. Now,
pretty good size.
You were saying this is your first carpentry project?
Really, other than the shelves in the MacCave,
yeah.
This is really it.
Cool. Okay, let's see what's inside.
All right. We've got, April has quite a collection of Doctor Who. So we've got all her Doctor Who action figures. And this is the console. Courtesy of Amazon UK.
Cool.
And of course, got to have the
Mac.
My media system.
That's the one getting swapped out later, right?
Yes.
Right. And then the TV slides out, and look at that. Very nice.
Thank you.